sidings of Sledmere and Fimber Station, which was on the Malton Driffield line. Right. Opened in 1853, close to passengers in 1950 and freight in 1958. The actual station was over the road there, where the picnic area now is, but there were 3 or 4 sidings here. We've been going 12 years plus, rebuilding part of the line. Hopefully we will get to Wetwang, where the station is still standing. Looking round, there's various fan bodies, most of which we've rescued from farmers' fields. We have a couple of locos, Sir Sykes, the green loco, which actually came from Lindholm Prison, and we have the yellow one down there, Patricia, which was from Malton Cement Works. We're open to the public on Sundays from Easter to the end of October, and bank holiday Mondays and Wednesdays during the school holidays. Other Wednesdays we're open in the sense you can come and have a look round, we will show you round, but the engines are not running. We are all volunteers, we don't have a single paid employee here, and part of it is we do work on a Wednesday, but we also have a cup of tea and put the world to rights. Very much a social atmosphere. We're lucky in the variety of skills that we've got. Most people are retired, but they've brought their working skills here, not necessarily railway based, but a lot of work that is very useful for the railway. My main interest is not the running of the railway, it's the history of it, all railways, particularly East Yorkshire Railways, and particularly this railway. And it's something that we're proceeding with, and we hope, say, to get to Wetwang and in the long run have a steam train, but in the meanwhile we're enjoying doing what we're doing. Yeah, so most of the stuff in here have actually been donated. We did actually buy the Wetwang lamps, which are next door, and there are some tickets dating from when the line was open. But I think everything else, has been donated, mainly by local people, some from a bit further away. If you look around here, these all the boards of really the progress of the line from its opening in 1853 to it closing to freight in 1950, passengers in 1958. One of the boards concentrates on George Hudson, who was involved with building the railway, and dependent on your frame of mind, he was either hero or villain. He got very confused as to what was his money and what was the company's money, and a lot of it went into his pocket, and a lot of different shenanigans going on, swapping money round. But if he hadn't done that, a lot of the railways wouldn't have been built anyway. So, say hero or villain. But one of the best pictures we've got in here is actually this train of the train in the snow, and this was actually after the railway closed. And the railway had been closed about 2 months, and then the snow came and it cut off the villages. No food for the humans, no food for the animals, they couldn't collect the milk, and all sorts of problems. And then they ran a train from Malton to Driffield, and as you can see, it's got 2 locos at the front pushing its way through the snow, and that did relieve a lot of the problems. And because they did that, a lot of people thought the closure order would be rescinded, but it never was, and so the railway stayed closed. That picture was actually taken from a RAF rescue helicopter, and the other thing it shows is the fact that the railway was originally planned to be double track, and what it was supposedly basically a York bypass, And so the heavy freight trains could come down from Newcastle, down the East Coast main line, through to Malton, through to Driffield, and through to the port at Hull. They had problems digging the tunnel, say Hudson was involved, they had to get a second Act of Parliament changing the route, but whatever reason, it just ended up as a single track, typical northeastern rural branch line. The best example of them running out of money was actually Burdale Tunnel. And if you look at Burdale Tunnel at the Burdale end, it is in fact a beautiful double track width tunnel with stone facing. You go down to where it pops out at the Warham end, and it's engineering brick single line. The double line only went a couple of hundred yards into the tunnel from Burdale, and that was it, reverted to single track. The tunnel has fallen in various places. There were 3 ventilation shafts, but then when they were building it, there were extra access tracks, access shafts, and when they dug the tunnel, they put big baulks of timber across the bottom of these shafts, filled them in with earth. And it doesn't matter how big your baulks of timber are, sooner or later in a wet environment they will rot through, which they have done. Gravity, all the earth come down, block the tunnel up, plus the lining is coming away from the side of the tunnel anyway. Always leaked, always will leak, and I'm not an engineer, but I would think it's highly likely it would ever be reopened or would be financially viable.